Sometimes I feel like some sort of gold being. I'm some sort of metal that only has purpose when someone needs something. And people wouldn't chase after me if it wasn't for greed, if it wasn't for the purchasing of some sort of peace. And my hopes and dreams are put on display for all to see, but under heat they bend and they bleed. And maybe you couldn't tell this was once beautiful. It's pure gold just covered in black ink, covered in the charcoal remains of ashes from the last time someone burned me. But baby, I can be something you need, so bend me in that fire until I fit a shape that can offer you some sort of utility. Cause I can see you, but I can't touch you. And I can touch you, but I can't feel you. And I can feel you, but I can't see you. I used to, but then I went blind. Mend me into a cup so when you get too drunk you'll think of me. Or mend me into a ring or some sort of jewelry so I can hold some sort of diamond within me. And people won't notice me, but they'll see I possess something with beauty. Make me into the buckles for the shoes on your feet, so when you run away from this broken down street you can take me with you when you chase your dream. Or make me into a music box so when I'm open people can feel enlightened. Make me into a trophy so someone can hold me high as they boast to the sky that they don't need anything. Or make me into a medallion, a true sign of victory, not as flashy as a trophy so it possesses some dignity. Make me into a locket that you can wear around your neck so I can possess a picture of the man who made you feel the best, or at least better than I ever did. Cause I can touch you but I can't see you, and I can see you but I can't feel you. Well, I can feel you but I can't touch you. I used to, but then you left my life. You're not one to look for gold or any other sort of monetary value, and that's why I'll always love you. That's why I'll always love you. So don't make me into anything you might lose. Please just don't make me into another excuse. Just make me feel like me, so I can make you feel like you. I can feel you, I can touch you, and I can't see you. Where have you gone? Just don't make me into another excuse. Just make me into something that you can use. Just make me feel like me, so I can make you feel like you. Cause I can feel you but I can't see you, and I can see you but I can't touch you, and I can touch you but I can't feel you. All I can feel is that your love makes me feel alive. This is what I said to myself in a deep dream. There's a relief that belief is all inside of me, and it's not trying to seep, but it'll bleed a brief shred of grief followed by a chase to break free. As I chase this crippling desire to understand the fire in your eyes, with time I'll try to realize that you're the love I need. But then I find this hope inside when I finally cross these wires. Not so that I die, but so my brain will fry. So I'll be dulled down enough to believe your lies when you cross the T's and you dot the I's. And I'll believe you because I can see through the rescue, and I saw a familiar bleak view when I broke my neck to see over the fence, just to see how green the grass on the other side of it is. But I know good and well that these self-help pity party depths of hell, chasing a burning desire like whiskey down your throat, drowning out the fact that the facts are in and you're still gonna say no. But I can't let go, cause this echoing promise of hope is deep inside of this confusion with me, I know. But soon I'll let go, and I'll do what I can to let love take control. I'll do what I can to let this love take control. Confusion of who you need me to be has stricken me, but love has no weapons and love is never fighting. So darling, why are we when love was the original intention of this home we built in our sleep. Every night I lie awake, and I know my heart will break, but what hurts the most is knowing it's happening to you. Every night I lie awake, and I know my heart will break, but what hurts the most is knowing it's happening to you. I sat down with her and she told me her story, and I told her I loved her and I just wanted to support her through her recovery. And through conversations I listened, and I feel like this is the best way to interpret what she told me. The devil found a clever way to infiltrate and bring his manipulation. A slender blonde in a cocktail dress, struggling through the intoxication brought on by the gifting of drinks, until she was ready to pay back in the bedroom, in search to appease the demons in her head on a sterile surface in the bathroom. Looking into a half-cracked, half-filthy mirror, hoping she doesn't reflect that half-cracked and half-filthy receding stain of a smile her mother made when she left, because the promises she made to herself seemed to be the hardest ones to keep. And knowing she survived the last storm was no longer all she needed to be able to fall asleep. Vacant wine glasses and late night crashes, symbolic of her vessel, with no presentation at the palate, but a spirit starving for remembrance, some sort of legacy other than her occupation, cause her normal skin looked like silk but had been masked by vengeance. Baggage under her eyes, deep within her overcompensating lies, and all she saw when she gazed into the endless skies was regret from that manipulation. This life of sleeping through the static of practice for the everlasting rush she hoped for, she was somewhat ecstatic, but not for the first time, cause this was reminiscent of those times that she would have those late night drives, those moments when she would look back and say, how did I get here? Those moments when she would look at old childhood photos and say, how did that child grow up to be like this? When did I dismiss the morals that I subscribed to? I don't know what to do. And she looks at photos of her beautiful mother in her youth and is envious of that smile she had when she was 22. And she wishes she could say the same for herself, but she's lived in the self-perpetuated hell, cause she took the literal stains and the literal scars and turned them into emotional drain, and then she fell apart. And I've never really been one for taking second chances on times that I've been broken, but sometimes forgiveness needs to be put in place for someone to actually grow from these negative emotions, and all that constructive use of the pain is thrown at you. It's the only way that you can find refuge, so I'm gonna tell you this, darling. Every time you tell yourself you're not worth it, every time you tell yourself you're worthless, you're being lied to. And in that case, the liar is you. Break this bread like you broke his body, and raise a glass above your eye level. Boast in the moments that leave a stable memory to scare away the remains of the devil. Let that alcohol burn out the demons in your mouth, spitting venom on lovers, leaving them with doubt. Just don't choke on communion or those emotions. Swallow down a standing memory before it's washed out. My guilty conscience was a chaser for every broken rib, every shed of skin, my selfish repentance, my need to feel clean, just so I can copy and paste the same burden. Rinsing cuts with alcoholic remedies to bury the Pharisees, chasing my empathy with a need for attention, a retention of amens to cover the blood drips and bloodshed of broken men who put purpose to the regurgitated blood dripping from the mouth of me and my emotions. And that's why that I can't feel any of this. night she took advantage of my advances, rather than the blood sacrifice so that I can make a better decision. A guilty conscience is better than no consideration, I guess, but the rest is placed in a test of time versus how much I care about my own mess. When I can't see the beauty in her scars, but only the body in her dress, how is this love when the scars pave the way to the truth in all of this? The comfort of existence removed my need to chase love, and I conformed to something fake, cause it's easier than turning to above, rather than trusting that I can make up my own ending, something I could break. I trusted your love and listened to every word that you said. I had so many words to say, but now they're just stuck in my head. I trusted your love and listened to every word that you said. I had so many words to say, but now they're just stuck in my head. I trusted your love and listened to every word that you said. I had so many words to say, but now they're just stuck in my head. I trusted your love and listened to every word that you said. I had so many words to say, but now they're just stuck in my head. And now this wine is a bitter sting, rather than something sweet. And I have all I want, but nothing that I need. I have nothing, nothing. I trusted your love and listened to every word that you said. I had so many words to say, but now they're just stuck in my head. Me and my friends were not the type of people to ignore the smallest problem hidden in the smallest church mouse. We hide our emotions, but I found out they're just live animals hiding in a glass house. And I can't let them out or even let them change somehow. But that's all I can tell you now, cause I'm not ready to tell you everything I want you to know. But I'm ready to trust you, or at least I'm ready to let love show. Cause I spent the last few years chasing my desires, and I found out I was just chasing my own demons. When I found desire in you, you called my words excuses, but I just thought of them as poorly stated reasons. Simple execution of neglect and preparation for something hidden in a deeply rooted promise that'll always speak my mind, but sometimes my mind will be mistaken. Cause me and my friends were not the type of people to leave room for error, but I make enough errors to leave an empty room in my heart. And with no one to turn the lights on, my heart lives in the dark. And I will hide the light until you ask for it to ignite. Cause the truth is bright, but hidden in plain sight, deep within the dark holes of your eyes. The deep secret's cold as ice, but sharp as a knife. The feeling of real vibes hidden deep inside my dark feeling that I'm just depression's trophy wife, a sight to exemplify surviving the night. Cause me and my friends, we never get in trouble, but we are a troubled bunch. Hope lies within our potential, deep within the rubble, hoping that light will touch. A hypocritical statement, a blatant placement of words that only have purpose if you strike a match and ignite them. And there you go, we solved the problem for darkness, but reinstated a purpose of hatred within the deep desires we develop to and envelop the cyclical deep desires of desiring deep connections to add depth to the thick skin of our emptiness. Questioning represented messages of necessary self-fulfillment. Some are satisfied with their instinct to survive through the storm of darkness, others call it selfishness. But me and my friends, we don't subscribe to the cloud of confusion found in questioning what turns the lights on. No, we never ask, cause me and my friends, we see the light on and celebrate regardless. But sometimes the light doesn't matter when we wear a mask. So what is gained if this isn't me? It's like having lungs but no ability to breathe. I guess the light exposed the fact that acceptance became a dead end, and it's the only conclusion I can see. Cause someday maybe the identity of me and my friends will just be me. But with this mask, it doesn't matter how bright the lights are, cause I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am unless it's me and my friends. climb over the wall that you built. I can see the colors running down your face, and I still can't help but feel. 'Cause it's hard enough knowing that you cry, but it's even harder knowing that I don't have to ask why. No, I don't have to ask why. 'Cause I've learned that love is not a game, and your heart is not a toy. And I'm sorry I didn't learn that sooner, and I'm sorry you feel that I stole your joy. I wait to me. I have this figured out, I promise. You lied to me, I never had a chance. I promise. You taught me how to love life, you taught me how to let it show. You taught me how to love another, you taught me how to let it go. You taught me how to love life, you taught me how to let it show. You taught me how to love another, you taught me how to let it go. I wish vultures would come down and circle my body, so that I can at least know if I'm living or slowly dying. These dark thoughts surround me, but I refuse to let them inside. I know love will carry me, and I know love will be alright. So I pray you find the same peace, 'cause I want you to know what it's like to not feel that pain inside. This prison is your home, but at least we're not alone. This prison is our home, but at least we're not alone. This prison is our home, but at least we're not alone. This prison is our home, yet at least we're not alone. I'll break the hand that feeds me when I find the food supply. It's the only way of living when there's a dagger in your side. A room full of living beings with souls that have died, praying for a miracle that brings miracles to life. But I guess the dead will never shiver, they'll never be cold enough to wish they were alive. But this chill you left down my spine is all it took to make me wish I would have died. You taught me how to love life, you taught me how to let it show. You taught me how to love another, you taught me how to let it go. You taught me how to love life, you taught me how to let it show. You taught me how to love another, you taught me how to let it go. She put a bullet through a Bible and thought it would empower her, but she felt nothing, and that's all she needed to finally feel nothing. She stopped by my house the next morning and said, "I'm sorry, but I still don't feel like this life is worth living. You did all you can do." I looked at her with tears in my eyes and said, "Darling, I'm sorry, but I'm glad I'm not you." She said, "At least I know this is all temporary, but the carpet drains will still hold stains, even when you die. You won't have to face them, but they will remain." She said she had enough baggage to rattle the cage of rage, worthless page after page, to rearrange a strange game of pain, seeking further into a strain of remains. Tags with names, she felt like the lone survivor of a civil war of inner peace versus inner desire, hoping somehow to change. The casualties were her hope and her sanity, a damaging calamity of fragile ideals being washed away when waging war against a staging of poor ideologies that led to death. But at least she felt something, and at least it all meant something. There's no way to see beauty when it's just the blind leading the blind. There's no way to see beauty when it's just losing love to justify lies. There's no way to see beauty when it's just the blind leading the blind. There's no way to see beauty when we lose love just to justify our stupid lies. She said, "I watched my house catch fire and I didn't feel a thing." Well, darling, congratulations. I wish I had that sort of inner peace. I'm digging into catacombs built beneath this frame I call a body, and expectations diminish as I uncover there's nothing underneath hiding. She had taken what I once needed to feel I could be something, and I spent so long being bitter, but now I'm finally celebrating, thanking God for those brief moments where my eyes met hers, and she was caught in a life that felt like one rapid blur, the spur of the moment cure for her boredom and my lack of adventure. We were caught somewhere between a pack of menthol she kept on the nightstand where she would sleep, and a broken down truck that used to drive her to her dreams, but now sat as an eyesore metaphor for the home we created to nourish our weaknesses, the brittle middle ground, sounding this rebound argument with God that we called living. It was nothing, not even trying to win any sort of race. I just wanted to finish, or at least sort of place. But as I kept running, I diminished the existence I created out of love, so I could breathe easier. When I try to fall asleep in this ocean pushing me side to side on her broken dreams. Broken dreams. She said it's easier to fall asleep just knowing that when I have something to say, somebody's listening to me. She said I don't care if I have a plan, I don't care if I understand. All I need to know is that I have some sort of calling. I just need to know that somebody is listening. I have these voices in my brain, and I created them and I hate them, but I ask them to stay. Cause I have this fixation on death, this fixation on change, this fixation on 3 years I grew out of pain, this fixation on sleep, this fixation on you and on me, but who could I be? I spent 3 years writing poems about a fixation on the past, and she told me it was worth it because she told me it would last. But darling, I'll hold my tongue as I hold you tight, cause forgetting what you think love means is my sleeping pill every night. I remember when you woke up and screamed, maybe our love is just laced with LSD, cause darling, I'm high on life and you're just high on me. And as I tried my best to read between the lines, her lip-shaped words I tried to interpret as lies, only to see the devil hiding deep inside the details. As Lucifer found his way back into retail, and my dear, he sold us a product we didn't want to buy. But we weren't trying to be original, we were just trying to survive. The voices in my brain tell me it's all in my head, and I'll sleep with one eye open, but I won't sleep till I'm dead. Cause a fair assessment of existence is an inconsistent realist vision of selfish antics, reduced to survival of the fittest, defined by our ability to avoid those carrying any sickness. And these whispers in my head intensify to raspy screams, asking when my skull will explode so they can breathe. They know that no one has a voice when no one is listening, and the violent riot of staying silent or quiet is torturous to those who need to hear something. And that violence has its own sort of beauty, and you are my beauty, and you're my violent smile, and you are my violent prayer. And you're not my oxygen, but I breathe your air. Cause these voices in my brain remind me of past mistakes, the beauty I found of being able to say, look what I went through, I survived. But is survival living, or survival just a placeholder for a vacant mind to cut off the threat to coincide with the soil while their blood boils? Cause my biggest fear was never facing death, or even facing what happens after. My biggest fear was never facing anything like that. My biggest fear was waking up in that coffin with these voices chanting a chorus of remorse, a forced abort from the course I had chosen. And now I'm laying here frozen with fear, staring up at a splintering slab of wood, paid for with my life savings, buried beneath the earth that grew the weeds that poisoned my family's feet. What if I woke up, walked back home, and it was like nothing had happened? We left your room the way you left it. We just scrubbed the blood stains out of the carpet. We just rubbed the mud remains out of your pockets. We just dubbed the tough claims out of your sonnets. We just evacuated your room and hoped you would too, but your spirit haunted it too long, so we boarded it up, moved along, and watched it become a guest room, a place for the non-permanent inhabitants to exist within this home we created to raise our kid. That was my biggest fear, finding out something like that would happen, cause the memories that have come with this only cause everything else to hurt deep inside of this dismissed feeling I feel. But sometimes you have to face the past. And maybe I've never faced death, but if I were to walk away, then what would I be? These voices in my head, what would they say and what would they see? Did I survive or am I cursed? Did I die or did I learn? What if I woke up like nothing happened? What if I never wake up? My dear, then what's my purpose? What if I woke up like nothing happened? And darling, what if you woke up too? There is a lesson to learn when someone can crash and burn. Are we just waiting for our turn? Is there any concern? We force-fed our own minds with something that was never mine. We do this every time. We do this every time. It takes two to make a relationship survive, but it only takes one to make it die. That's why I'm here to sever my ties. I'm sick of the sickness, with God as my witness. I'm fine mocking and hating those with the truth, flocking and raiding this, not all this news. Are we acting in the name of edginess? Or deep down, is this just an act of prejudice? Tightening the ropes of understanding and manhandling the stands, rambling with crowds of widows and orphans, ready to be fed with nourishment of the body. But when we break bread, we feed heads. We suffocate minds to ignore life and only see the consequences of death. Blind sheep can't use grass and feed as their shepherd. We must not let our heart and mind be severed. Cause where's the religion and love and the love and religion? We're taught if we want to go to heaven, we must keep them mutually exclusive. We're told tradition is the misleading of staggered preaching, the seeking of reaping what was sown by the heavy hearts and shackled hands of men that we don't even love, but rather see as utility. But the progress we seek is not always rooted in love, sometimes just rooted in the need to seem unique, but still similar to the masses. When we get on our hands and knees to avoid shaping into a windowless view in the first four pews, as we spew cyclical phrases at an altar to alter the altered state of refuge we never saw when we were clung into what we were taught would teach us how to pray. Is everyone like this? No, I doubt it, but I can tell you sometimes I am, and it makes me sick. I used to be scared that I wasn't sharing love, honestly. Now I'm not scared at all. Now I'm not scared at all. And that's what scares me the most. Forgive me, forgive me. I chose to believe every word I was fed, and I thought the coals on my back were a product of the lack you left when you stepped back and racked your brain for a reason to stay. But you could not seem to formulate any such thought in your head. So you left with nothing more than a reason you kept silent, and my mind would riot, stuck in self-perpetuated mental violence and dreams kept private. The ambition to fix this wish list of selfish, misfit, realist missions contained within a vision of wishful thinking and seeking deep into a new bit of misproportioned emotions, leaking through a seeping truth constructed by my need to feel important. When you would look back and think of all the little things you regret, I just wanted you to think of me when you'd think back to all the things you regret. I spent so much time convincing myself that the rest of this mess that I stressed within this relationship was a product of the world's impressions, not my deep desire to be needed. And it's hard to admit, but I guess I've come to terms with the fact that I just want to be needed. And I convinced myself that I needed to be needed. And if that was true, I would still be smiling like you still today, but for different reasons. I chose to dismiss the possible instance that the lips I love to kiss could form the words goodbye. And it was a simple lie, but I told it to you like the captain of a sinking ship, choosing to believe the bottom of the ocean was a better source of oxygen. It's so nice, and I still chose to believe I misinterpreted your dialect and everything you said about it. diatribe, posture, body language, and connotations all pointed in the same direction. The selection of contingent messages postponed until further notice, because I was ashamed to admit the problem and pretend your happiness came from me and that your happiness was important. But we aborted the sordid truths we once distorted when I saw the shape of your dress when you wore it, and that was enough until it wasn't, and that's when you finally felt supported. So the others courted you and you mentally recorded and endorsed the force before the compliments you received came in, and you felt empowered enough to take your final bow and find love within the arms of another instead of this heart of mine. And that's fine, because I would do the same and I would leave me, not because I'm useless and not because I'm broken, not because I'm sad and not because I'm worthless, but because I saw value in your smile and not in your values. And I'm sorry, and I love you. And that's why I can finally sleep at night, because you are free and you can thrive. And I'm just happy I gotta be a part of your life. I'm just happy I gotta be a part of the journey that you call your life. And I finally feel fine, cause I spent so long trying to change you, not realizing I was the one who needed to change. I was selfish to assume you loved me more than you love yourself, even though I never felt the same. And there's so many things that my selfishness tried to take away, but you were the one that was the hardest to watch walk away. But thank you for letting me be a part of everything you were building and creating and finding truth in life, and you were relating in so much beauty. And I love you, and I'm sorry. Thank you for letting me be a part of your journey. Thank you for letting me be me. And thank you for setting me free and showing me love in its full capacity. I'm gonna chisel away at this rock until I get the shape that I want, and then I'm gonna continue to chisel it. Cause that's what I do when I find myself in a new relationship. Cause I remember when this started out as mud mixed with water that turned to clay, and I watched it break and look more like the image I wanted to make. And it's pathetic, I know, but it's all anyone ever gave. Cause I was born a virgin, covered in blood and free of sin, and that's the exact shape I wanna make when I jump off this bridge. I'm tired of trying to be something that I can't be, and I'm tired of fighting for something that I can't see. I'm finding new life in every regret and finding regrets in everything I forget. And the second I'm at peace, I'm thrown off by my need to make everything complete, cause I'm a sucker for the rule of threes. You hurt me and I hurt you, but when I hurt you, something needs to happen to give me some sort of closure. And I'm sorry for this poor posture, I just can't stand up straight and take this like a man today. I'm too broken, and there's so many things I want to say if only you would listen. And I'll put my fingers in the door, so when I close it on you, maybe I'll hurt a little bit too. I'll put my fingers in the door, so when I close it on you, I'll hurt a little bit too. Because the only reason I held on to you was because I felt I had nothing left. And the deeper I carve into this rock, I'm realizing it's not gonna fit into the shape I want, so I quit. Cause I've always been afraid to fall in love, cause there's something about falling that just doesn't sound worth it. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, it was problematic at best, because you beckoned me and you lessened me, and no other love would accommodate my blindfold so easily. But now I can see, now I can see. God, I gave you all of my love, but I can't see past this hurt. God, I gave you all of my love, so now what do I give to her? imperfection drove me to see nothing, and that's why I'm not breathing. And imperfection makes more sense when put in the context of human existence. And I can say I promise truth to this, even though I know I probably don't. And forever is everything to me. It's been projected through all of my dreams, and I held you tight and said I wanted to love you forever, even though I know I probably won't. I guess I've been caught. I guess this is all my fault. I guess I've been caught. I gave you all I got. I exist for two reasons and two reasons alone. The first is that God was willing to take a gamble on a soul, and the second was because the ones who made me took too long to let go. Sons today are the reenactment of cheap pornography, and daughters are taught only to love if they can break through a glass ceiling. And these double standards have become a disease, and diseases tend to dictate what we think we can be. So we hunt the weak, the ones who are infected in the feet, so they can't run from the hunters when we don't get what we need. And a good hunter knows to use every part of the animal, like I did to all my friends in the final hour. When I finally felt alone, I realized you can't cry wolf when you're already devoured. And to let the ones who felt empowered feel useless when I drained them of their blood. And I told them it was all in the name of love. I guess I've been caught. I guess this is all my fault. I guess I've been caught. I gave you all I got. I guess I've been caught. I guess this is all my fault. I guess I've been caught. I gave you all I got. So darling, whisper in my ear, tell me things are going to change. Tell me I'm not supposed to be this way. Tell me it's my time. Tell me that I've been brave. Whisper in my ear, tell me not to be afraid. Tell me my fear is okay. I'm okay. I've done this the best way. I guess I've been caught. I guess this is all my fault. I guess I've been caught. I gave you all I got. I guess I've been caught. I guess this is all my fault. I guess I've been caught. I gave you all I got. I guess I've been caught. I guess this is all my fault. I guess I've been caught. I gave you all I got.